Hi, welcome. I am Astrid, I am Wattle and Wool, and welcome to my podcast. I would first like to start by recognising the Indigenous people on the land on which I stand, the Noongar people, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. This land was seized and never ceded. So, I've got not a lot to show you today, but probably a lot to tell you about, so let's get started. I've been kind of all over the shop lately. I got my Pfizer vaccine, but I also was coming down with the flu, and so it just knocked me out. Like, it was probably a month-long cold or flu, and it took me so long to recover. As it is, I've got a giant red lump from where my second Pfizer shot was on Thursday, and this is Sunday, the 14th of November. And yeah, like I'm only now kind of okay after Thursday. So who knows what's going on, but at least I am vaccinated, which is exciting. Yes. So because I've been sick, I kind of haven't been doing a lot. Last time I was sick, last time I podcasted, I got heaps done, or it felt like I got heaps done. And this time, not as much. Although I do have... Although I do have quite a few beanies that I have finished / played with / made. So I will show those to you. So finished objects. Okay, a few of these. So the first one is the Entwined beanie. Actually, I should talk about everything. I'm going to do a giveaway, and it's going to be spoken about consistently throughout this episode because it's not like me to be structured and do things one at a time. I have a huge pile behind me of things to give away. So I've got these four are the Tasmania Beanie ones. This one here is for the Entwined beanie. So this is the Wattle colorway from Wool and Works. It is a lace, 72% mohair, 28% silk, 50 grams, 420 meters, 2-ply in the Wattle colorway. And I, of course, being Wattle and Wool, it was a sign, it had to be. And so I made sure that I could get this, which is absolutely beautiful, in order to give it away. So this one here is going to go with the Bush Medagina, the body brand that I bought off some Indigenous women. That sounds random. It's a woman-run Indigenous-owned company up in the Northern Territory. And so this comes with clay and ochre scrub in the wattle leaf and some body butter, bush blossom body butter. It's a lot of bees. And so these two, along with the wattle, will be coming together, and they are for the Entwined beanie, which I will be releasing technically in like a few days. My uni, so again, unstructured. I'm studying my Masters of Teaching English as a Second Language to go along with my job as a high school teacher, where I teach 2 English as Second Languages classes who I adore, and I get to have one of them for next year, and I'm so excited. And so I am really passionate about what I do, especially teaching ESL. So I thought that I would study it further, which is great, except I've got this giant university report due, and like pretty much the only instructions is write a 2,500 word report on any of the topics we've looked at this semester. I need more help than that. I need structure, I need parameters, I need a rubric, I need something to follow. And it's worse because, not to toot my own horn, well, okay, kind of to toot my own horn, my last 2 subjects, I got 84%, which is technically a HD, or a high distinction. And then the mid-unit test, I got 94%, so definitely a HD. And now I'm like pressuring myself to maintain my HD. And I don't work well with this kind of pressure. So to make me feel better, I'm going to do a giveaway and release all my stuff all at the same time. I'm thinking of like a week, like 5 days, where I basically release a pattern a day, or at least promo a pattern a day, about my different beanie patterns and talk about them and how great they are. And just relieve some tension from my uni. So at least even if I don't get a HD, which I'm hoping I do, but I emailed the lecturer and I was like, please give me some boundaries. This is where I think I'm going to go. This is where my research is pointing me. Do you agree? And also, like, it's a 2,500 word essay. And me being me, like, I do have the vocab to kind of whip out and sound all smart and stuff. As I just proved then. But it's like, it's a lot of editing. It's a lot of work. And I've also got reports to write for my students, like my actual job that I get paid to do, that I love doing. I've also got a prac student at the moment, so someone learning how to be a teacher, and me and another teacher like sharing him, but he has more of my classes than his, so I'm technically more responsible. So like, there's a lot right now. And then I've got all these plans that I'll tell you about soon. So I have to feel good. And I thought doing something like this would be lovely. So that is the first giveaway group. Got more things down here to show you in a second. If I can, yes, there we go. So this is the Entwined Beanie. I have some absolute thank yous that must be acknowledged. So Madeline, Mad About You, and Crystal, Book Hooks and Yarns, test knitted this for me, and their versions are incredible. I have spoken about them test knitting before on their YouTubes, which of course I'll link down. I'll link everything I talk about down below. On their YouTubes, they actually talked about it and the test knit and how they found it. They both love the pattern, which I'm so glad. It makes me so happy. They both love this big, thick, chunky cable at the front. And personally, I actually, blowing out a little bit. There we go. Shading the sun, as always. Classic Astrid. I love to cable without needles. As in, like, I don't want a spare cable needle floating around. It just annoys me. So this is a really good one to challenge yourself. It's got tiny little 2-stitch, like, twisted stitches along here. And then it's got, like, a bigger cable in here. The third person who also test knitted this tech edited it for me as well. And her name is Kat, or Katrina Walser from Oliphant Cat. And oh my goodness, I just watched her recent episode, which isn't that recent. It was the beginning, so it's like 2 weeks ago. So I feel kind of bad for missing out on it until just now. She talks it up better than I know how to. Like, because she's an experienced designer and tech editor, she just knows all this stuff. So she was saying about how the needle size of this beanie is a 4.5, and she was saying that, you know, typically you'd think that it doesn't really work, but because of the cables it's going to pull it in, which means that you need a bigger needle. And it's just like, I can be quite intuitive. I can kind of just fling things together and see how they go, as I will show you soon. And yet she actually knows the math and the reasons behind it. And she, like, I honestly felt like after I heard her talk about my beanie, I wanted to go buy my beanie. So I would definitely link her down below. Also check out, she's got a another recent post of the top 10 designs that she's made as a 5 years in in designing. So she is incredible and definitely, what is my cat doing? Definitely someone that I look up to. Yeah, so I'm really, just really grateful to those 3 women for promoting my stuff and supporting me so well. So more to come with that again, but this is the first giveaway. So this is the Entwined Beanie one. I only have this wattle to give away for it, so it's only one to give away. But also it's so beautiful. Not that the others aren't, but this one is just like my personal favorite. So I adore this one. Cat, that's a closet. Yeah, it's a closet. Closet. Yeah, he's not interested anymore. This cat's weird, man. Okay, so that is the first beanie. It was done a while ago. I used a gifted mohair. Seriously. Sorry, guys. I used a gifted mohair for most of it, except I actually used it double, which made this incredible purpley, it's like purples and yellows and creams, and I love it. This really cool color, except it ran out. So then I had to go find some other more basic, more polyester style, like fake mohair. But because it's on the top of my head, it doesn't really matter. And I love the double mohair down here anyway. So to be perfectly honest, I would probably do it this way again, even though I wouldn't recommend it. Just because I feel like where you want the softness is going to be around here. And it's just perfect. So that is coming out very, very, very soon. I have spoken about it very much, so I won't continue to recap everything because I've already done that. The second one that's coming out, my darling partner actually brought his to work, so I don't have his to show, but this is my version of it. I'm a bit unsure about this one. I'm going to release it, even though it hasn't been tested. So it's been tech edited by Kat, again, the same one who test knitted this one and tech edited. So it's been tech edited with the two color, but it hasn't been test knit. Now it is a lot tighter because Genius Me decides to combine the white, which is actually a fingering 4-ply, with a DK or an 8-ply. So, which is the amazing color changing yarn. So I'm a genius. I'm sure we can all appreciate this. And yeah, not the smartest attempt, but that's okay. So this is, I love this crown. Absolutely love that. It is my favorite part. I've just been taking pictures with my phone, just trying to do a reel. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'll give it a go. And yeah, I absolutely love this one, but it's really, really, really hard to explain and write down because it is two things held together. They are both less than a full ball or skein of each. So it's a good one for scraps, but it's hard to write down. And in classic me style, I didn't actually weigh anything before or after I did it. So I've got approximates, but not exacts. So it's been tech edited, not tested. The other full green version has been tech edited and is currently in testing at the moment. I've got a couple of people working on that one for me. I've got some incredible people from Instagram. I've got a lady called Pauline, Libby Brown's Basket on Facebook, and she's testing it for me. And then I found some number of other people, 3, on a Facebook group called Pattern Testers. Although I am noticing that getting like posts through is really hard. I'm totally understanding that. So again, true me style, not structured at all. I just throw things up when I'm ready and then want to publish them next day, which naturally is not enough time. So I'm thinking I might need to find more ways of putting out for testers. I could probably just use my Instagram anyway. Something like kind of stops me, like some emotion stops me, but there's no good reason to, so whatever. But this is the Tasmania Beanie. This is the 2-color one. And to go with this is going to be one of these 3 needle toppers. So you've got little white ghosts, you've got pumpkins, and you've got little cows. I have a feeling maybe I might put one of these with the wattle one. Which one looks best? Maybe just the ghosts. Maybe I'll put the ghosts with the entwined one because they're really cute. There we go. Ghosts with entwined. All right, that's all done. I'm going to put the beanie with that so I know what it is. And these 2 are going to go with a pairing of these. Now I'm thinking I will do blacks and or like shades of grey and brights, and then fall neutrals or autumnal neutrals. So these are going to be the 2. It's very soft. These are going to be the 2 combinations that I do, and let's figure it out right now. Let's do pumpkins and cows, because cows like grass, and that's a sunset, and pumpkins like the sun. that makes 0 sense to me. But also, I feel like it's a good pair. So there we go. We've got the blacks and the brights with the pumpkins, and the cows with the shades of brown and the autumnal colours. So there's enough in there that you could technically do 2, or you could do a 2-colour one. There's a lot of options in there. And so these are going to be 2, because I made 2 of the Tasmania Beanies, 2 giveaways. Yes, these will go into giveaways. All right, let me put them together. That one there. And that one there. I'm going to take the hat off so I know what it is. All in there. Where did I put it? Here it is. Okay. So I ordered a lot. Oh my God. Okay. Someone needs to like take my money and make me stop buying things. It is becoming a problem. I've decided that I have, if you can see, more than enough. Also, not only is it all up in there, and then there's some down there, and there's a lot on the bed here, but I had a rent inspection and I just ran out of space. So it's all in the closet that my cat was trying to get into. So there's I have a lot of stuff. And this is going to kind of come into a couple of things. So basically I've been shopping a lot, and then I decided that I don't need to shop anymore. I just don't. I have enough. I actually have more. Like people talk about, you know, the stash to life expectancy ratio. I think I'm good. And I'm 28. So like I'm not planning on dying soon, but I'm pushing. These are like 4 levels in. Like I'm pushing it. And you don't want to know what's on the floor of my closet. So, and then there's more around here as well. And there's more coming. I've decided that 2022, I'm not going to buy any more yarn. And I talked about this last time, I think. I'm going to do a accomplish along. My word of the year is going to be accomplish. And I'm going to do, basically, people can like go into the all year giveaway, which is going to be some hashtag that I make up to do with accomplishing. I don't know, WW accomplish? Accomplished? No, because I don't want it to be like a really easy hashtag, but then I want it to be something easy to remember. Wang. WWAANG. No, A-G. Wag. Will wag. Waddle will accomplish along. Long. Wow, I don't know. Good morning, me. It's not even the morning, it's the afternoon, and I've already had a coffee, so this is going well. Anyway, so yes, I've decided to do an accomplish along, and I've decided that I'm not going to buy any more, or to try and stop me from buying more. Every time I buy something, I have to buy something for you. And it's going to go all in this giant melting pot to give away. I'm also planning on having a serious look at my stash and destashing. I've got nice stuff because I'm quite fussy now, and I only like to buy nice stuff and play with nice stuff. But there's stuff that I'm never going to use, or that I just don't envision using soon. So that is going to come up again in a minute, and next year basically is going to be a huge melting pot of yarn stash stuff that will be given away to people who continue with my accomplish along. Probably not with the hashtag wang, but that's okay. I'll think of something. Wow. All right. So the point is, Mel, I bought a lot of stuff from Down Under Dyer, who is Mel, Down Under Dyer on Etsy and Instagram. And, or is that her actual website? I think it's Etsy. Yeah, so I bought a lot of stuff from her, and she sent me in a free bulky skein called Graffiti she said to either use yourself or as a giveaway. And naturally, I looked at it and went, ooh, giveaway. Ooh, beanie. Ooh, I could make something. So I did. And very quickly cast on this one here. So this is obviously not in the same yarn because I only have one of these. And so I can't give away the one that I make because that's weird and creepy. So this is out of Malabrigo something. I will add it in somewhere. Malabrigo something. I got it in a Knit Crate subscription, the Malabrigo ones. And this was, instead of, a lot of the time they come in 2, this one came in 3. Please excuse me. A lot of the time they come in 2, this one came in 3. And so I felt quite okay hacking into it because I've still got 2 left. If I use them, I'll give them away. Don't know. But I made this one. This is called the Pedestrian Beanie, and I love it. It's got like little lanes, like street lanes. Because I was thinking graffiti. Graffiti is something that you see around the street. Street life beanies. Obviously, not so much in Australia because it is really heating up. I've actually, to be able to wear a long sleeve thing because I was making the reel and I wanted to wear long sleeves. Also because I've got a huge thing on my shoulder or arm. And I was like kind of self-conscious of it. So I put a thing on, like a jumper on, but then I also had to put the aircon on to be able to wear a jumper, and it's still on because I'm wearing beanies. So, whole story. It's definitely not in Australia just right now because it is warming up. But wherever else in the world you might be, beanies may be more popular for you right now, and it's very streetwear, street life. So I was thinking graffiti, street style, pedestrian. That's how we got there. So this is the Pedestrian Beanie. It just narrows into a point, very easy. It's got my typical extra long, or not extra long actually, my typical longer-ish brim, which I do love because I love to be able to fold them up. This is actually not tech edited yet, but it is being tested. So I'm going to send it to Kat, although I've sent her quite a few other things and I'm feeling quite bad that I haven't gotten back to her on those. So don't know if she'll get to this in time, but this is using all the same skills and basically the same template as every other beanie that I have that has been tech edited and tested. So I'm confident in it, but just in case. So this is actually, I knit it, I was trying to figure out what the cast on should be, and because it's a bulkier yarn, I was thinking, well, maybe I should cast on with like not very many. And so I did it with 76 stitches and I didn't like it as much. So then I ripped it all back and I went down to 68 stitches. Yes, 68. And I liked that fit. Because of the pattern repeat, it needs to be in a multiple of 12 when it gets to the actual thing. And I like having a slightly smaller ribbed base to be able to extend it. So it's 68 and then it goes into 72, which is divisible by 12 and 6. And then, yeah, it's a really nice beanie. Although if I have it on my head for too long, it's actually quite tight. And so I'm thinking that this would be a better, like, big child size or small adult or teenager or something like that. So I then sized it up to make sure that there was enough sizes for an actual adult head. And then I was thinking, so this is going to be given away, it's the fourth giveaway of this episode. This graffiti skein is going to be the Pedestrian Beanie skein. They go together. And so that is definitely enough to be able to do this. Yes, so I was thinking to be able to make it work, and you'll get all my beanie patterns are going to be free, but you will get sent a link. Either I've got Ravelry, Lovecraft, or I can just email you the PDF of whichever one you get in the giveaway. So I was thinking, it's a bit tight. Maybe I should not have it because it's quite tight. So I sized up for an adult. Then I was thinking, well, I've now made a beanie. Who would I give it to? And it's like rainbow. It's very pretty, but really hard to capture on camera, to be perfectly honest. So if I'm doing a rainbow beanie, well, obviously little girls love rainbow. And I have a friend with the most beautiful girls who I adore, and luckily they love me too. I actually said to her this morning, I was like, if I'm too much with your kids, please tell me. And she's like, no, I love it. I was like, oh, thank goodness. Because I love her kids. And so I thought that I would just make a second beanie. But using the same stitch count, if it went smaller, it would be too small. And then the same stitch count wouldn't be working for her little girl. And I was thinking, her baby, not baby anymore, she's like full running and walking and everything. I held her when she was a baby. It's creepy. So, sorry, I forget the children grow. The youngest one, she's a lot more active, I would say, than the older one, just from seeing her run around. So I thought instead of doing a beanie, I would do like a headband or like a headband topper. So this ponytail beanie, you know what I'm talking about? Hopefully, yeah. So this does fit me, but it is, you can see it's rather, even to my face, rather small. If I hold it up against the beanie is much bigger. It's exactly the same stitch count. And so it does stretch, but it's a lot tighter, which I thought would be good for a kid. So I've worn it once to make sure it works, but that's it. I haven't really continued wearing it because I figured if Bub gets this one, she doesn't need my hair in it. I also am going to wash and block these to make sure that they're fine to give away because I just don't want my hair in there. Although as every female knitter knows, you probably just continue knitting your hair into your work anyway. So this is basically a hacked version of this. It is 1.5 inches instead of my normal 3 or 4 for the ribbing, and then it is 1.5 pattern repeats. So you do get that lane kind of idea, and then it just goes back to the ribbing again, and then an easy bind off. So I normally do I knit 2 together and then put the loop back over, knit 2 together, put the loop back over. And then what did I do for the cast on? So that is the bind off, and then this is the cast on, and I did something stupid. Maybe a knitted on cast on? I don't know. It was late at night and I was sick, which is not helpful. So it's a lot tighter, which means that this is going to be best for her face, and this is going to be best for her like head bit, but it also means it'll stay on nicer. So, or you can do it the other way and it's perfect for a kid with a small head. So that is my finished object for the pedestrian beanie or pedestrian headband with the graffiti skein in mind. And so this is the giveaway. Do you want this to be written up as like an extra hack, or is it pretty obvious and you just don't have to have me write it up? Please let me know, because I don't actually know. That's that. Then, I decided while I was in this obvious beanie knitting time, I've made my mum a beanie, which is the Waiting for Winter beanie, and it's got cables in it. It's the only beanie I don't currently have access to, because it's my mum's, that I can easily show. And then the other one that I don't have access to is in Queensland, which is on the literally opposite side of Australia to me. And so I thought, I may as well just make another one. So I've made my little sister, like my baby sister, a scarf and beanie set and another beanie. I've made my mum a beanie. And if you can see, there is a scarf that I attempted to make her and is languishing in the corner because it screwed up. Not me, obviously. It did. I'll get there. And then this is Nat's beanie for my cousin Natalie when she became a mum for the first time. But my sister Natasha has never had a beanie from me, so I thought it'd be perfect. This is held this is in BC Gun Baby Alpaca held double. This is the Nats beanie. It is mostly ribbing, so Tash is lucky I love her because I like ribbing and then I don't. And you have to love it for this, and there's a lot. So it took a little bit longer than I expected. It's got my fairly standard tubular cast on, which I love. And then the beanie itself, Tash loves a nice slouchy beanie, so I'm hoping this will be perfect for her. It is 8 inches of ribbing until you get to the decreases. So it's a fairly long one. She can wear it slouchy if she wants, like that. Which is not how I like it, but if she wants to, I personally would wear it like an actual fitted beanie but with a double thick brim. And because this is baby alpaca, oh my lord, it is soft and warm and squishy. So I prefer it like that, where you can actually see the lovely decreases. I absolutely love them. When they were test knitting for me last year, pretty sure it was last year, what's her name? I'm going for Liz, but it could be Beck or Katie. Lost. She's a restless knitter on Instagram, and she said to me that they look like crowns, which I love. And so now this is my idea of crowns. I always thought they were antlers, but I like crowns better, especially from my little sister, because she's an absolute princess in all the best ways. I love her. So this is for her Christmas present, which she's never going to wear until at least 6 months later, because it's really hot right now. But because I had to re-knit it anyway, I'm trying to take photos of it because I want to update the pattern, because they can look better. I think I've learned a few skills. My pictures can improve. So I wanted to be able to knit something again. And yeah, so I said to Tash, hey, do you want like a red or a green one? She goes, no. And I was like, oh, I've got this off-white. She goes, yep. And it's kind of like a grey off-white, but it'll suit her really well. So that is not a giveaway. It's just another finished object. So that's my finished object. Then I have a few other things. This was the Pedestrian beanie that I started in a like acrylic yarn, but I just really did not like how the white, it just felt like it was pulling it. And so I frogged it. Well, not frogged, I just ripped it off the needles. My colour work is lovely in it, or the tensioning is lovely, but I'm just not a fan of the actual beanie. And it doesn't feel as nice. It feels very acrylic, so it'll hold a lot of heat instead of breathing. So it could have been a project, but it's not. I have an awkward thing. Don't know what to say. I talked before about this, which is the brioche blanket that I just randomly whipped up. It was for the Mad About You challenge, and on Instagram by Mad About You. And it was to test me knitting something that I haven't really done before, because I've never really, like, I've done brioche, but not like this color changing one. It was also to test an advent pattern that I want to do. I'm still waiting on that yarn to come. And it was going to be testing the Bendigo Woolen Mills tweed yarns as a potential for a cardigan for my partner, which I still totally approve of and definitely will do. And the blanket itself was going to be a blanket for my partner's dad. But he's not doing very well. And I mean, I don't think anyone deals with death well. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like someone's out there like, I'm a pro. And if they are, I'm so sorry for them, because that means they've had a lot of really horrible experiences. So death is not a comfortable thing, and not a comfortable experience. And also I'm very uncomfortable talking about it for a lot of different reasons. And so it's really hard for me to see my partner's dad in this situation, and I haven't really seen him a lot. I also haven't been able to see him for like the past month because I've been sick, and I don't want to get him sick with whatever the heck cold I've got, because if it knocked me out, it would knock him out. And so I just stopped the blanket. It's not even, no, I can't trivialize it. It is a big deal. But yeah, so I just stopped the blanket. So I don't know. To be really blunt, I don't know if it's gonna be around for Christmas. And so that's scary. And I don't know if I should make the blanket, if I should finish it, if I should stop. I just don't know. So I'm letting it sit there, but then I feel guilty for not doing it, because wouldn't you want to go with something calming around you and comfortable? But then he's also surrounded by hospital staff, and there's too much. And I know that whatever decision I make is the right one, because if I was going to give this advice to a friend of mine, that's exactly what I would say. Just whatever you make, whatever you decide is the right idea, the right decision. But I feel stuck making the decision to make a decision, if that makes sense. So that's what I should be working on, but I'm not. But what I am working on, so I finished off the beanie, the endless ribbing beanie last night, and I knew that I really, really, really wanted to cast on a gauge swatch for the skein from Stitchcraft and Wizardry that I got recently. So what I am trying to do is I'm trying to get things off the needles, which is why I was so determined to get this one done. I want to get things off the needles so when my advents come in, that I'm ready to go. That said, I'm looking at 2 huge boxes. So this is one box from Knit or Dye. She is originally from Queensland, I think Brisbane. She was living in Bunbury, and she's got cute little ones in here. Now, they are all actually knotted, which is very intelligent because it stops people like me ripping through them and trying to open them all. But I have opened this one. I will honestly tell you that. I love it so far, the whole one that I've opened, because I have no self-control. And I cannot wait until Christmas when I can start opening these up properly. But yeah, so I've already started opening them. And I'm really excited to have all my advents. This is the first one from Knit or Dye. And then this is the second from Oliver and Olivia. I totally forgot that I bought this one. Now I remember. Their theme was... So this Knit or Dye Oz is about Australiana, an Australian flora and fauna, which I love. Like, obviously, yes. And this one from Oliver and Olivia, who are a Dutch company in the Netherlands, theirs is about travel. And so they're like inspired by travel. Again, I've already opened one of them. Only one. I've stopped myself at one. I have stopped myself. And it's beautiful. I can't wait to show you. Like this one here, I love the concept and the information that's given is amazing. But this one, just the color. Yes. Love. So, yeah, I'm so excited. I love advents. I have 2 more on the way. I have 2 more on the way. One from Twisted Willow, I think, in America. That's the one I'm planning the brioche for. It's also a mystery advent. So I haven't seen what it looks like, but I'm planning a brioche project for it because I think it'll be fun. And then the other one is a 12-day with a... Oh, please excuse me. A 12-day with a full-size skein from Wool and Works, who is the magician behind this one here and many of my other recent purchases, because I've recently discovered her and am now obsessed. Speaking of recently discovering and being now obsessed with Wool and Works, she released like a Monsters Inc. collection, and now, so I sent her the story because I was like, this is a story that's just happened. Like literally I pressed checkout and then sent it to her. I saw on Instagram an ad for a 2020 journal. And then I was like, oh, I really want to have a book journal. Like something that keeps me up to date with all the books that I'm reading. If you can see down here, I've got a pile of them. I've got things like, I talked to you before about the Amber and Rye that I can't wait to explore and show you. I've got big dreams and big plans about where I want Waddle and Wool to go next year, and how I want to do it. I'm going to be revamping my mailing list, like massive revamp, so I'm really excited because I've got one, and the last email I sent was on Christmas last year. So let's restart it. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of ideas out of this. I've also got the Complete Latvian, a guide to learning conversational Latvian, which I am super excited about. And I'm probably, to be perfectly honest, probably going to share some of this anyway, either on the podcast as in video one and on the email list. Even if you don't want to learn Latvian, that's fine. You don't have to. But I'm going to teach you some anyway. And then I'm thinking, because I never have enough, other amazing books like this one by Lynette Noni, who is one of my favourite Australian authors. She has, all of her books are, where are they? In this section. There you go. So that's Sarah J. Maas and Lynette Noni. That is Tamora Pierce, because I love her. That is, where am I going? There we go. Laurel K. Hamilton, who is definitely an adult person. I'm going to really actually do like a proper series. And then all the rest of them, there's so many. So many. So this is the second this is the sequel, book 2. I should just make a whole thing talking about books instead of jumping into my knitting one. Anyway, I'm thinking about taking Noongar classes. There was a free 6 to 8 week course that you can do through Curtin University. And they teach you like conversational Noongar, which would be awesome. Totally keen. Yes. Or I could wait and I could do it in March next year and pay $180 and get a certification and like be certified. And I just like having certificates. So I'm thinking that's the one to do. And so I'm thinking I'm going to basically have 3 languages, Latvian, Australian, and Noongar, which is the Indigenous language local to my area, which I think is just so cool. And I've got some students who speak Noongar, some students who are Noongar but they don't speak it, so at least I can bring it in. Yeah, just why not? Yeah, I also start a TAFE course the day that I finish, and the day after I finish my university course for this semester. So I'm just kind of applying myself to all the things. And then I've got all these plans. So we'll see what happens. But, yes. So, can you tell I've not scripted any of this? Where was I going with this? Where actually was I going with this? This. I bought this from Stitchcraft and Wizardry. No, before that. Well, sorry, I found on Instagram. This is actually me in real life. So, normally I edit myself a little bit down. No, you're getting me now. It's been over a year of podcasting. Actually, it's been 2 years now, almost. You get the real me. So, I've got the Instagram ad for a 2020 journal. Then I was like, oh, I like a book journal to show what I'm reading. Then I went into Etsy and was like, oh, let's see if I can find it. Found 2 that I really like. One as a planner, one as a book reading journal. Jumped into my cart, no worries. Then I thought to myself, it would be rude not to see what Chloe's got up in her store in Wool and Works. So I just clicked over and was totally innocently having a quick squiz, just a little peruse. 4 skeins later, whoops. So stop me. I need to stop. But I'm so excited for those to come. So I've already got a shawl idea. I think it's really cool. But I'm not stopping. I need to stop. Like I'm glad I've bought all my Christmas presents already. I need to stop. So that's the thing. Anyway, I'm trying to clear off all of my my needles because I wanted to have the ideas for the advent. So I've got these 2 here with no ideas. I've got the Twisted Willow, which is the brioche idea, which I was drawing up today. If anyone wants to steal my idea, go ahead, because I don't even know how it's going to work. This is my plan. If you can read my weird stitches, that is my brioche plan. Go wild to steal. If you can steal, tell me how to do it, because that's what I'm going to figure out this afternoon. But yeah, so that's my idea for the... That's my idea for the Twisted Willow. I think it's Twisted Willow. I'm pretty sure. Advent. And then for the Wool and Works one, I got the 12 with a full skein. So 12 mini skeins, a full skein. And I'm going to do... Got the 12 mini skein and the full skein, and I'm going to do a revamp of my Wattle Wizardry 2020 Advent and make it better. And the tech editor who had reached out to about that one actually contacted me, because I haven't contacted her because I felt really guilty, and then I just kind of froze in a ball of shame and just didn't do anything. And so she's still going to work with me to do that one, and I'm so grateful to her. So Bear, I don't know how to say your name, B, I'm guessing. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative and so sorry that I didn't man up and do anything. I can't say man up, that's a really sexist term. That I didn't take acknowledgement of my mistakes and that I didn't do anything. And I apologize that I made you reach out to me, but I'm glad that you did, B, if you're watching this. And now we can work together. So, wanted to get on my needles free for those 2 Advent projects. But I've also got this awesome skein. I've got 2 of them. This is it, balled up. I was going to say caked, but it's not. It is badly wound, and then I just gave up and hand did it. And so I did a quick gauge swatch last night, which looks like this. So I love how it comes out. There's a little bit gappy in there because I wanted to see how the droplet stitch would work. I'm still working on it. It's still not perfect. There's another one up here, and I think I know why it's screwed up, but I've got to retry it. But once I saw the fabric and I like the tension, it's on 4mm needles with fingering 4-ply yarn. I was like, yep, perfect. This is happening. And so I was sitting down with my mum. I just started casting on. I'm literally doing the knit on cast just because I have a feeling I'm going to rip it back. And also it doesn't need to be very elastic because it's going to be herringbone to start off with. So even if I don't rip it back, it'll stay, and it'll be fine. I'm really excited to see how the pulling works with this and to see how the colors come. It's just so bright and vibrant as it is. Blowing out a little bit. There's like nothing to show, but hey, it's a cast on technically. So I'm going to cast this one on and work on that. That is all my works in progress, all my giveaways, most of my plans. Okay, so while I was thinking about, asterisk brain, I've got my Entwined beanie with the Woolen Works mohair. I've got the 2 Tasmania beanies with the, I didn't even say what it was. It was the Scheepjies Wanderlust. One in the autumnal beigey patterns with the cows. These ones in the brights and blacks with the pumpkins. And then the Pedestrian beanie with the graffiti skein in bulky. Mohair lace, DK, bulky. Yes. These are my 4 giveaways that we're all going to run together at the same time because why not? I will announce them next time I podcast, which is hopefully in 2 weeks. Yes, in 2 weeks when I podcast next, and I will announce the winners. So I will be running it on Instagram. The way to enter those giveaways is to simply tell me down the bottom which one you would knit. So would you knit the Entwined beanie, the Tasmania beanie, or the Pedestrian beanie? And whichever one you nominate for, you will go in the running to get. And I'm going to add on and say, please subscribe as well to my podcast, to my YouTube, because I feel like that is the way to do things. So yes, so comment on which one you would do. If you want to do all 3, that's fine, but just make sure you put the names in for all 3. So Entwined, Pedestrian, and Tasmania. Make sure you put down the names for all 3 so that way I know and I can count you in all 3 of them. So that is what I'm currently doing. And then I was thinking today, so I was in church this morning. I like church. It's very calming for me. And I was thinking, we were talking about Christmas and how Christmas is time for giving. For giving, not forgive, or kind of both. And so I was thinking about like everyone talks about like your brand identity and what is your brand identity and the voice that you use and the colors that you use and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like I'm moving, like I feel like I'm pretty certain in my brand identity, but I'm also exploring it. So it's definitely like Australian, Australiana, very inspired by Australian things and lifestyle here. Also as a Latvian who is discovering my culture, I heard the most amazing, incredible quote. Actually, let me get it up and read for you. Sorry, I'm knocking this around. This is the quote, and it was from Lee Gunderson in an academic research paper. If you want, I can link it all down below. And they are, I'm guessing it's a she. I think it's a she, but they, I'm going to use they just in case. They are a Norwegian American Canadian. And so they talk about how they've lost their Norwegian culture and connection because of their experiences being dominated by the dominant Western culture of American or Canadian. So applying this into Australian, I kind of feel the same. She wrote, the individuals of the third, fourth, and fifth generations are the lost ones whose first cultures, like unsettled spirits, haunt their angst-filled reveries. Becoming an American, an Australian, or a Canadian means the surrender of first languages and first cultures. Children and grandchildren have little sense of what has been lost. They occasionally revel in the broken bits of culture that are the dwindling tokens of their lost identity, while passionately condemning new immigrants for their apparent reticence to lose what they themselves have lost, their languages and cultures. So this really hit home for me, incredibly. Ooh. Apparently, if I click on things, I focus it. So there's now a nice little square. Hopefully this doesn't come up. But yeah, so I've been, oh, this is really dark now. Oh, I don't know if I like it. How do I brighten? That's better. There we go. So I really feel this quite strongly for me. I am the granddaughter of Latvian immigrants who came here during World War II, and I don't speak Latvian. I don't really speak the culture, speak the language. I don't really know enough about the culture, and it's been something that I've really wanted to learn. So I've got quite a few books on Latvian designs, Latvian cultures. I'm known in the family as the person who is kind of that way inclined. I'm a bit more of a historian in that way. And so I'm just really passionate about discovering it, which is also, you know, why I'm looking at doing this and why I would share it with you, because I feel like it's so important to acknowledge and recognize and take part of my culture. Culture. That sounds so Australian. So I was thinking about like my brand identity and where I'm going. So it's like, as a fully fledged Australian who's rediscovering my Latvian identity, what are kind of the main core beliefs and core values that I've got? And one of them that I was struck by when I went to Latvia was their hospitality and just their generosity and how willing they are to put themselves back for someone else. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to go broke for someone else or anything like that. But I did find it incredible that they would just cook all their food for us. Like, we would just pop in and there would be a full spread ready for us. There would be, you know, my great aunt and uncle gave up their bed for me and my sister to stay in. They gave up their whole apartment, actually, for me, like my whole family to stay in. It was beautiful. And I wonder at how much in the Australian culture I would do the same. If I had a friend come over, would I give up my apartment? Or if so there's a family coming over, if there was my Latvian relatives, would I give up my apartment and stay with my family or in, you know, my boyfriend's family's house or something so that they would be comfortable? Like, I just don't think that that's as much of a natural generosity in my Australian culture as it seems to be innate in the Latvian one. So I was really thinking about this. And again, church, talking about giving and the opportunity to give. And I just kind of decided I wanted to do something nice for people. So I am currently consulting with a few of the other Australian podcasters. And so I will announce it properly when it all happens. And we'll talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But here's my thought. 2021 sucked. 2020 sucked because it was a shock. 2021 just sucked in general. I know for people in Melbourne and Sydney, it just kind of just continued. Like, it was this endless, non-stop, ugh. And I think Melbourne is it's either Melbourne or Sydney, but it's the city with the longest lockdown in the world. So more than anyone, and the strictest lockdown as well. And it's just been really, really, really difficult. So because of Australian post being so blur, I feel like it would be most appropriate to keep it within Australia for the moment. But I reached out to a few of the other people, Australian podcasters, and I said, hey, I'm thinking of doing this thing. Would you be keen? And some of them said yes. And some of them haven't read the message yet. So I can't really say that none of them are, because it's a Sunday and people have got families and kids. So what I'm thinking is nominate up to maybe 6 people, as in 6 people will be accepted. So what I'm going to do is I will do a a yarn, and it could be like a D-stash. I've got these beautiful Kim Dyes yarns from her Community Matters one that I absolutely love. I'm just never going to use. Like, and I can appreciate how absolutely gorgeous they are, but I'm never going to use them. And there's no point having this stuff if I'm never going to use it. So having these, I'm thinking of de-stashing like the beautiful skeins, the pretty skeins that I won't use, but that I like so much that I couldn't just sell those. Like, they have to go to someone amazing. So de-stashing some yarn, and then doing maybe $30 worth of like stuff to journal with. So it could be like a nice pen, washi tape, highlighters, something cute, even a journal, something pretty, and then some chocolate as well, and just sending it to someone who's had a crappy 2021. So, and I know it's not going to be like, if I do this, let's say it's ready to go by December-y, first week-ish of December. So that's like 3 weeks from now. Let's say it's ready to go in December. Knowing Australia's Post, it won't get to the person until early January by the time I get everything ready. So I'm thinking of doing it like a reset 2022. So, so reset 2022 is going to be what I do. As you can tell, I'm making this up as I go along, but that's typical me. So reset 2022, and it's going to be, like a beautiful yarn. I have got, like I said, some other Australian podcasters involved, and they are willing to also do it. And then I will cover shipping because it's my idea, and that's only fair. And yes, so they're depending on where they are. So I know some of them are in the eastern states, like Melbourne and Brisbane and Sydney. That's not a state, those are cities. Queensland and New South Wales and Victoria. There we go. So I know that some of these women are in other states, and so therefore it might be easier for them to go direct from them. I'm in Perth in Western Australia, so I'm happy to do wherever. But yeah, so I'm thinking if you are watching this and you've got a friend who is also a knitter, and they have just had a crappy run for whatever reason, I don't need to know the reason, but you can nominate them and just say maybe why you would nominate them, or something great about them, like something that you really want to recognize in them, to uplift them and cheer them on. So that is going to be on Instagram, and it's going to be in my private DM messages, just because that way it's not like this weird public thing, and it can be a lovely surprise. So this actually happened to me last year. I was quite honest about struggling last year. Oh man, that was tough. And I ended up getting, I don't know, it's down there somewhere. I ended up getting this beautiful, no it's not, it's in there. I got this beautiful bag of 5 gram mini skein, like 5 gram hand wound minis, and a gorgeous handmade bag from some incredible person. I'm blanking on both of them. I'll have to remember who, but someone nominated me and someone did the giveaway. And so I just remember receiving it and just feeling so thankful and overwhelmed and blessed and grateful that someone noticed me, that I was struggling, and took time out to care, and to give me something that was totally not their prerogative, but they just gifted something to me. So I wanted to be that person and be kind and generous and be hospitable and give something to others that I have experienced, that I know blesses and is beautiful to me. And the sun is crazy. Yes, so on Instagram, tell me who they are, probably where they live would be really helpful, like just what state, and something that you want to support them, or that you want to like recognize in them. So are they really resilient? Are they a really hardworking mum who just loves her kids and does everything she can for her babies? Are they an awesome nurse who has just had a terrifying time lately, and they are willing to put in extra time, and they have been giving more of themselves than they've been able to get filled themselves? What is it that your friend has been going through? Again, you don't need to tell me specifics, but what is it about your friend that you want to recognize and uplift? And I will choose, honestly, I can't really say I would choose. There's as many opportunities as I've got, I will give out. And yes, that will be, I will say that will close in let's say the 10th of December. That's a good date. The 10th of December, I will close that. And I'll also put it up on my Instagram as well, so people know. I am at wattle&.wool on Instagram, if you don't know. And so the beanie giveaways will be held on YouTube only, but I will also promote on Instagram to tell you to go to YouTube. And the restart or renew 2022 is going to be on Instagram only. So there's a lot of information there. I hope this episode sort of made sense. And thank you for listening and for being with me and for supporting me as well. That's really important. Well, I did say that I didn't have a lot to talk about, and it's now an hour. So I will let you go. Thank you so much for popping in again and watching me and supporting me. My beanies will come out hopefully next podcast. And so then I will announce the winners of the next one. That does mean, though, that I can't reply to you because it'll screw up my... Actually, no, you know what? I can do it just manually because why not? I will reply if you comment because that's just polite. And yes, that'll be fun. And I like commenting. I like replying. So thank you so much for coming along and watching and putting up with this. And I can't even say putting up with this. You're here. You chose to be here. So thank you so much. And I will see you soon.